Welcome back, folks, to my Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity Complete Edition into the Switch. When last left off, we ended up finding this abandoned city. We explored it a bit, and we're basically just going to go to the next area, I believe. So let's hop to it, shall we? Now, I think a lot of us are kind of injured. So what we will do is we will camp for the night and get ourselves up higher.
You know, there are accounts of watchers in all of the regions I've visited. If the adventuring life doesn't work out for you, you could always read souls for coin, give people advice, tell them which family they're related to and whom they should duel for past offenses.
I could probably convince people of all kinds of things. Well, that's true. Quite the approach I was thinking. Not quite the approach I was thinking of, but very true. Okay, here we go. We're going to the Sun and Shadow. As always, I will pause it during the recording or loading. Yeah, yeah. And we are back. Okay. A scroll of defense. Oh. What sort of troubles will we find here? So far, we've been finding quite a bit of things. Ooh. I don't know if you can hear that, but on my headphones I can hear like voices whispering. I think Roggy and her companions are going to be in for it.
Are you ready to take the oath? To spread the word of the gods to the lost and heathen?
That's Thaos. Well, a shade of Thaos. Okay, we got rings of unshackling. There's another shade.
I am trusting you to remain loyal to the gods in this. If you do not, you will have greater powers than me to answer to. But you will answer to me as well.
Something here. Broad belt of power. They're giving us a lot of things. So let's equip real quick. Okay, I'm fine. It's these guys next. Suppresses affliction. Okay, we'll give that to you. Might and resolve, we'll give that to you. You have nothing, so we'll give this to you. Okay.
I wouldn't ask this were there any other choice.
My headphones seem to be messing up.
This is a missionary, same as I was. Taught the wrong things as I was.
That's Ivora, a shade of her now. I don't like this.
Osionis. They have held off many would-be invaders.
You are ready to give a confession?
I am ready to hear one from you.
This is all from the past. Where Roggy betrayed her. Ooh. Let's level her up real quick. Again, I don't know what I'm doing. To reduce their efforts, improving their deflection. Deprived and unworthy. The paladin temporarily snuffs out all active Foe. We'll do that. Yes. Okay. There he is. You come to a circular room, grand and domed, its walls lined with Adra and trimmed with copper. At the far end, a great pillar of Adra precedes the floor from below like a ragged spike. Its shimmering texture gives the illusion of boundless depth. Your thoughts are yours and not yours, and they are all questions. At the base of the pillar stands Thaos, a look of concern on his face as he notes your approach. You have something you want to ask him, one question above all others, spinning madly in your mind, but you do not dare ask it yet. You need a mission from him first, some hint of that versity of your suspicion.
You are far from your post, Inquisitor. What brings you here?
Your mind races, weighs different angles of approach, your emotions barely in check. Was Zavora telling the truth?
That woman sought only to destroy the foundations of peace and civility that my people sacrificed everything to build.
Was the entire Inquisition based on a lie?
The Inquisition was based on the need to cut the flesh from a rotting wound.
All these statues, who are they of?
They are monuments to Woodica's greatest servants among my people. I hope to join them myself one day, but my work is not yet complete.
That machine behind you, what does it do?
It has many uses, but its purpose is to bring structure to the chaos that surrounds it.
Final question. What is this place?
We are in a sanctum holy to Woodica. There are others like it in service to the other gods. I come here often to pray for her counsel, and in this space I may be assured that she hears me.
You are shaken now. You have lost all patience for the tact. No more evasions. You have to know everything you believed, everything you have done for the gods. Did you lie to me when you said the gods could end suffering? Thaos says nothing. Are there no gods? Thaos' face remains a mask of
What is
impassivity.
a god? A higher power? A rewarder of good deeds and punisher of the wicked? Something men can turn to in their darkest moments when their days seem only like bridges from one tragedy to the next. Our gods are all these things.
With Thaos' every word, you find yourself losing control of a boiled cauldron of rage and doubt and fear and hopelessness until you can take it no more. Are there no gods?
We are in a sacred place within earshot of the gods themselves. This is not the time. You've been through much these past few months.
With a maddening calm, Thaos puts an index fingers to his lips.
You will return home and you will rest. When you feel you have recovered, you may rejoin us at the trials. The Inquisition is far from over, and I will have need of you. There are many who continue to spread the lies of the apostate. The Inquisition will not end until we have pronounced judgment on all of them.
His eyes linger on you, and there is no mistaking the threat behind it, and your rage shrinks at the image of an iron wheel in your mind, monolithic and caked with the dried blood of thousands. You do not ask your question again. So that was a shade of Thaos. It wasn't him himself yet. Nope, there he is, maybe.
How did you find it?
I didn't. It was Lady Webb.
Another in a string of acts of petty defiance. For all her knowledge, she always preferred spite over reason.
She loved you.
Then she should have obeyed. I ask one thing of all my followers. She was incapable. A waste of rare talent and intellect.
Blind obedience is a lot to ask for someone with a mind of their own.
What of your cohorts, then? They have followed you to their deaths. Is it loyalty that brings them here? Or is it, as my agents suggest, that they have no direction of their own? You worshipped Aethys, did you not?
Your spies are good. What gave me away? The cape?
Yet when your god needed you the most, you chose your country.
Elder frowns, irritated.
We were being invaded. Not by anyone who was acting like a god.
Then I should think your hometown gave you a hero's welcome when you returned.
They gave me one. It didn't last, but what does?
Neither faith nor loyalty in your case, I think. Your god deserved better from his follower.
Elder's body tenses, but he catches himself. He shrugs, but his bitterness is draped across his face.
You have devoted yourself to studying the work of my people. Why?
Because I believe we can learn from the past and use that knowledge to better ourselves. I wanted Rauatai to surpass the Anguithians, build upon what they knew.
And did you ever consider that these were things you were never meant to understand? That their comprehension is beyond you?
He's a dick. I don't need to understand. I've seen what become of your people. That's all the lesson I need.
You are living in the time of my people, Amawa. You owe them more than you will ever comprehend, and so it shall ever be. Greater civilizations than yours have attempted to reclaim what we buried. The greater their successes, the worse their fates in the end. I understand your Duke's bells gave you a mission.
Thaos' sudden attention causes Pellegrina's feathers to ruffle.
Their orders do not absolve me of my greater responsibility to the safety and well-being of the Republics.
You might want to skip over this one, Thaos. Don't want to pick a fight you can't win.
Yet you disobeyed. Something you already have a reputation for. They will know, of course. If it had been for a worthy cause, they might have forgiven you. But I don't see them pursuing animancy after seeing what it's done here. They trusted you, and you disappointed, as you always have. And you will again be disowned.
We do the best we can, but we all fall short eventually. Yet there's still time enough for me to make amends. In any case, I wouldn't be so smug about my fate, Thaos. I imagine Woodica responds to disappointment much more severely than even my dukes.
State your name and purpose, young acolyte.
My name belongs to the gods, in my hand to their service. And I'm going to purge it of your stain.
You serve none but yourself.
This
Without
is starting to
contact
get
with
good.
the order, you can have no higher purpose. Only the base concerns of the flesh. You have cast yourself from our ranks.
No. I've risen above them. I'll take the leaden key and lead in a way that you, who remained nothing more than a slave to the gods, never could.
A leader without insight, directing an organization that does not question. Quite a vision, Initiate. You are far from home, dwarf.
I knew my hunt would send me a long way from Masuk. It was a challenge I was glad to undertake for my village.
A journey, then.
Yeah, I never did
Must be
all
of
their
some import
quests.
to take you so far.
I just
and
went
to last so
down
long.
the main quest.
It's important to Masuk, and so it's important to me.
You are here because you are lost. The gods cannot reach everyone, I'm afraid. May you fare better in your next lives.
He directs his gaze at you.
I gather you have had your soul awakened. Why else would you shadow my footsteps like some stray mongrel? You think I have something to offer you, but our business was concluded long ago.
One of us is going to die in this room. You might as well admit your lie to me before that.
I answered your questions once. That your soul is not fit to accept the answers is of little concern to me. I lied to no one. Not to you, not to anyone. The gods are real. They are everything we need them to be, and the world is better for it.
You've lied to everyone, yourself most of all.
I have no illusions about the costs involved. But what your brief lifespan obscures is that it is what must be done. The heart of this country has skipped a beat, nothing more. I have done far worse. I plunged the peaceful kingdom of Thaos into civil war. I slew the monarch of Desantio, whose people never knew hardship under his rule, and replaced him with a cruel despot who brought them to ruin.
Ooh.
When plague arrived at the great city of Arborensis, I saw to it that the cure did not. They piled their dead outside the city in heaps that rose above their walls.
Nothing could justify these atrocities.
That's where you are mistaken. There was a time, back when your soul was still a shapeless mist, when the world believed only in false gods. Thousands of them. Gods that told them to take slaves. Gods that told them to make war upon their neighbors and devour the slain. Gods that told them to burn their children alive and cover themselves in the ashes as a sign of their faith. But all that changed when they learned of the true gods. Our gods. All those misshapen, bestial instincts melted beneath the radiance of our God's majesty. You could see it in their eyes. That dull emptiness replaced with the glimmer of a kindled spark.
He is quite mad. As mad as a hatter, as they say. Teaching him there were no gods would have achieved the same purpose.
And replaced it with one far worse. Have you imagined this existence? The one the apostate would have created. We are not all so virtuous as she. Without our gods, the most wicked, the most tyrannical, they would take that power for themselves. But more than that, it would be a hollow existence. All mysteries forever unanswered. All purposes constructed from meaninglessness. No endings to bring closure. Only a wheel, turning without mercy, grinding our spirits to dust.
If that's how it has to be, then so be it.
If you would welcome a wretched and lifeless existence, then by all means. But I will not see the rest of the world saddled with such a curse. All I have seen, the millennia of experience. I will not be dissuaded from this course.
You are
This is
blind
the
to
only
think.
way.
Oops. You are blind to think yours is the only way. You are controlled by your own doubts.
We are all controlled by our own doubts. Better that we should be relieved of them. With your soul and thousands of others, I will see this world purged of its suffering. Hear me, Woodica. Your servant calls for aid.
Thaos puts his hands out low to each side, as though welcoming unseen guests. He shuts his eyes and casts a face skyward. Okay. Now we're at the final boss, I think. Maybe. I'd normally pause during the saving, but...
Roak 10!
Oof. Oh shit. Okay. Okay, let's see. Hold on, we'll just go through here. Alright, it's a Woodica's Judge vessel. Immune to charm, confused disease. Wow. Resistance 10. Okay. Okay, we are going to take control of our individual people. Require summons 2. Okay, you will do firewall. Here, you will wounding shot him. You just do what you gotta do. We're gonna concentrate on him. Wolf, you attack him. You will do Flame of Devotion on him. Let's hope we don't die. Okay, you will attack them. Okay, Arloth, you will do another one of these. Right here.
Enough of this.
Alright, he's making us attack them now. Okay. Let's see now. We'll do a crackling bolt on him first.
Lava.
Attack him. Roggy, where are you? You will do lay on hands on Arloth, if I can find him. Yes.
That's not very helpful.
Okay. Alright, there we go. We should be able to take him down. Hopefully, anyways. He's down. Yeah, there we go. Get him. Get him.
Oh, thank worth it.
We gotta take better care of Vala.
Can't get a good shot at this.
Arloth is down, but he's done. Oof. At your feet rests the body of Thaos. Hollow, the dense wrinkles shaping by the silent southering of an eternal burden now smooth across his cold, drained face. His soul remains still for the moment, defenseless, its energy expanded in death. It lies spread across his body like a death shroud.
All those lifetimes spent to preserve a single vital secret. I can't imagine having that much certainty.
After journeying for lifetimes, I can't imagine his failure, knowing it was all for nothing.
Thaos followed his mistress's orders too well. I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse that he will remember this again one day after he makes it through the wheel.
He was good at serving his god, I give him that. He should have picked a better one.
All those lives. And at the end of them, he was no better than the very people he sought to guide. A pity he would ever have to face that realization again.
Explore Thaos' soul. With a deep breath, he plunged into Thaos' soul, and where in Blackenburg it had been a maze of narrow corridors and dead ends, now it's expansive and borderless, with its walls crumbling into heaps like ruins of Entwin as you pass through them. You travel for what seems like ages, rushing through a known destination, a memory you glimpsed once before. At last you see it, no more than a pinprick of light at the end of a long tunnel, the expanding slowly at first, then quickly as you near. You come out in the room and you are standing in now, but it's new and pristine and filled with people, thousands of them, all turned towards the great outer pillar, the machine that encases it. Thou stands at the machine, and you are one with him now. You look out to the crowd and face of shriveled old men, cherub-cheeked little girls, mothers bouncing their infants to quiet them, fathers clasping their children's restless hands and watching you with somber acceptance. A woman with tears in her eyes as you give a small nod. You turn back to the machine. your breath constricted, breathing the weight of an unknown knowledge, preparing yourself to set out alone on a journey without end. You close your eyes and open them again to find the machine still in front of you, beckoning. You take your place in front of it and place your hands upon the large mechanical discs at the base of the great crystal column and speak a single word. Giant rings creak to life, building speed, sending an array of carved draconic mouths aglow and sending the tremors throughout the platform beneath you. The entire room shakes now with the force of the accelerating machine, all the sound drowned out by a deep, deafening thrum. Brilliant trendles of light arc outward from the pillars in all directions, and you look over your shoulder to see them engulfing the crowd, burning them brightly like hot iron. One by one, the tendrils disappear, leaving ashen effigies where people once stood, many of them disintegrated into the gray heaps under the stress of the tremors. You look above the Hydra pillar, glowing spherical mass that had begun to cease atop the column where the arcs converge. Its glowing pulses translucent and bulbous like some immense chrysalis, suspended in a slow rotation as though it were being spun from the arcs of light. When the last arc disappears, the spiral mass hangs a moment, no longer rotating, so bright that you must shield your eyes with an outstretched hand, and it seems to you as though it's looking at you. You bow your head in acknowledgement and look back to see it melt into a pillar-like warm candle wax. The pillar flames with flash of light, bright as the sun itself, and then fades to darkness. The machine slows down to an abrupt halt. When at last the echoes of the grinding cogs have passed, the chamber is still, and you are alone. From all sides, reality begins to bleed through the memory, and you find yourself at your own skin once more, looking down at Thaos' lifeless body. You sense a listlessness to Thaos' soul, an unwhelming fatigue that hinders that escape and makes it vulnerable to manipulation. You feel as though your victory has given you some kind of hold over it, and you're able to do with it as you see please. Ooh, whoa, didn't I promise? I say let's destroy his memories.
You were kinder to that man than I would have been.
A questionable act. Without his memories, there will be nothing of Thaos left to appreciate your mercy.
You return to the landscape of Thaos' memories, to a vast terrain of deception and crippling despair, and you can feel your agency in the world now, an ability to reshape it to the whims of your dominant will. You focus a vision of pure emptiness, and your will becomes swirling vortex around you, sweeping through the landscape, bearing away moments of lifetimes like some apocalyptic bulwark that would tear away the existence of the planet itself. Your storm builds up until the very crystal of the world peers from the fabric of the soul that anchored it, and it bore off into the sky until the too distant to observe. The last thing you see is a white void, boundless, all directions unaffected by the shackles of the experience and doubt. In the stillness that follows, a single word echoes through your mind, a word you spoke when you were one with Thaos in an ancient memory. You realize it's a word that activates the machine. Holy shit. And we will call it there, folks. It's almost half an hour. This is going to be pretty long. I hope you enjoyed it. I think we're almost done with the game. If you're new here and got to the end, thank you. I appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up if you like it. A thumbs down if you don't. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Hit the bell thing so it rings. And I will see you next time. Hop you later.